Everybody, welcome to this week's Star Report. This is Jason here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Brenham, Texas. And this week's report is for February the 19th through February the 25th, 2025. And as usual, we jump right into the sun. The sun has been quiet, but that doesn't mean that there aren't geomagnetic changes and shifts afoot. The only thing really happening on the sun is small sunspots, no coronal holes, no incoming BS, but there is the possibility of plasma filaments, which are the only really active eruption watches that are going on the sun right now. Pay attention to. But with the geomagnetic excursion, meaning the lowering of our protective shield from cosmic rays, there is an uptick in what's it called? Earthquake activity. We see the swarm in Santorini over in Greece, Campi Flegrei over in Italy is beginning to swarm again. The East African Rift is also continuing to swarm. And just recently, they are starting to look for volcanic activity up in Alaska in the Spur section, SPURR. The energy which sort of happens during these volcanic shifts is there's ultra low frequency waves that sort of are broadcast by those, which is how early prediction things are beginning to be able to measure when an earthquake is going to come. Usually those energies are going to give us a sense of nausea and a little bit of an anxiety. Um, and that's just sort of this anticipation that something's about to shift in the world or that we're not necessarily on steady ground. And since we are shifting, which is the next thing on the list, since we have shifted into Pisces yesterday, we are overly aware of where our feet are standing and the ground is beginning to shake, meaning our relationship to this reality is beginning to move. And so that should be noticeable. And so anxiety could be anticipation, but a lot of times we don't necessarily we don't necessarily experience that anxiety with the most positive feelings. So if you're feeling anxiety, try to shift that into anticipation that the world isn't necessarily going to stay the same. Yeah, and recently, studies have shown that our heart rate syncs to the geomagnetic vibrations, right? A lot of times you will think of this as the Schumann resonance. Many of you might have noticed the Schumann resonance before, and that Schumann resonance is usually what, seven hertz. So when that sort of shifts, we can tell when that happens. And so just sort of look for that feeling, just sort of an anticipation, right? Like you're fixing to go down a hill, you're on a roller coaster, you don't necessarily know what it's going to be like, and you can be anxious that, oh my gosh, you're out of control, or you can be excited that there's something exhilarating happening and that the landscape will shift as we move. Like I said, we just moved into Pisces yesterday. Alchemically, the zodiac signs relate to our physical body, and that is with the feet. And so you should really be anticipating that the energy of that is really sort of set to your spring loaded, you're coiled. And with this extra energy in this shift, rather than trying to calculate or worry about what's going on, you should use your intuition and then your expectation or your own creative determination of what is next and where you're going to land. So, sort of rely on your intuition rather than your anxiety to keep you stuck. Rely on your intuition to direct you that the shift in the leap is going to be in a positive direction of your own choosing. We are currently still in Mars retrograde until the 23rd, which is in this week's report. So pay attention to that. Mars is the setting of intentions, the ability to execute on those intentions, just sort of embodying power. A lot of us who are overly connected to external forces and external messaging might be experiencing Mars as that anger, warlike thing that there needs to be conflict during the shift. But really, if we sort of lean into that intuition and the Pisces mode, then we don't necessarily have to be in conflict, which leads us to today, the 19th of February, 2025. Jupiter and the moon, Jupiter and the moon are really sort of combining to help you focus on all of your suppression techniques, right? So that you don't get overly excited, you don't get overly whatever, that you're suppressing what you really think. You don't really want to feel as vulnerable about telling people what you actually think is going on in the world or the realities and so on and so forth. And so all of your suppression techniques with the combining of the Jupiter and the moon, right, with just power and wisdom of the hidden realms, you want to think that your ability to sort of keep that hidden is going away, and your inner light is actually going to erupt, right? So all of you, I don't say your suppression techniques are going to fail, but if you're going to try to keep yourself suppressed still, you're going to exert extra energy and you're going to be resisting and going against the current. And we all know if you're in a undertow and being pulled out to sea where you think you're going to lose yourself, then you're supposed to go with the current. So sort of think of it that way. And so that inner light can show you and allow you to sort of see the direction where you can actually move and act in that sort of spring coil where you want to jump towards. If there is going to be a quantum leap, then you got to decide where you want to leap to. And so you can sort of actually let go of that inner light and let it shine. And all of your dreams can come true. And these are going to be around all kinds of aspects of life. Ooh, in and out of, there I am, back in focus. About home, right? Where you live, how you afford to live, family relations, that could be extended family, your job, your finances, all of these things are going to readjust. And so those are really all moving towards this Mars direct stuff, right? And all of this ground beneath you shifting. So if you are experiencing the anxiety of what's happening next, or do I have what it takes, or do I have the what's the word, the assets or the material goods to do all the things I need to do. Once that sort of light sort of releases from the self, you sort of know that you've got it all already and you can actually create the life you want. Sounds like a good Wednesday. Feels like it's super cold here at New Dimensions Crystals and Reiki in downtown Burnham, Texas. It is, I think when I was driving to work, it still said it was 26. I thought it was supposed to warm up by the time I got here to do the report, but it is still super chilly and super breezy. And I actually caught a little chill on the way into the shop. So pay attention to that, right? That might be making you feel a little sluggish, but sort of take that time if you have to be out and about to sort of allow your consciousness to sort of use that as a cooling system, right? All these extra things that you're fixing to do can be cool, right? So just think of it as an engine cooling, right? The cooler the air is, the more horsepower and octane efficacy happens, right? So you can go faster and do more with the energy when it is super cold. So, hey, good Wednesday. Moving into tomorrow, Thursday, the 20th of February. It sort of is a marker, right? A lot of us that watch this channel and that are doing spiritual practices and work on ourselves sort of experience things, prequel sort of stuff, right? We feel the energy that is coming, right? And sometimes we experience that as anxiety, like we have this anticipation, like something's about to shift. And so Thursday, you might be experiencing that even more so, or at a peak of the energy, because it is 7 days until eclipse season starts, and that's going to be the pre shadow of the eclipse season. We start our eclipses, solar and lunar, I believe, in March. Blah 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 blah. Then we are heading towards the new moon, and then right after the new moon, or during the new moon, or just subsequent to the new moon, right around the new moon, because it's not like heavenly bodies line up like this overnight. But so these things are moving into alignment where we have that 7 planetary alignment that is happening. And then we are also just about a week away from Venus going retrograde on March the 1st. And so that anticipation is going to be building for us, right? So it seems like the energy of the cosmos is really this anticipation, something big is about to shift and change. And how you're going to sort of feel that, and a lot of times this is usually by great effort that we become not just the experiencer of the energy, but the observer at the same time, right? So you want to sort of think or look for that you're going to be able to not just be experiencing the energy, but observing how that energy is moving you along and the belief systems that are sort of driving that. So that'd be cool. That's a cool Thursday. Can't wait. Can't wait till tomorrow. Can you hear it when I whisper into this microphone? I think you can. Friday, the 21st of February is going to be governed, not governed, but influenced by Mercury and Jupiter. And this is really sort of the ability to sort of focus and sharpen your inner wisdom. You know more than you think you do, right? And so this is going to be sort of epiphany kind of day, and you can do better, right? So this is rather than being driven by external forces, rather than be driven by time, like, oh, when this and this and that line up, this is really, you're going to understand that you don't need to wait for that all to line up. You don't need to wait for all of that to awaken, that you have this inner power, this inner light, right? So this is the revelation of the light. Imagine my surprise, Venus, the morning star, this big bright thing in the sky, right? That our own inner light is coming up as Venus begins to affect us more. So that'd be a good Friday. Moving into the weekend, Saturday moves us into February the 22nd, 2025. And it's a 222 day. 222 is usually about cosmic change, the ability to change. And so you're probably going to experience an inner pole flip, right? So if you've been uber positive, you're going to sort of shift into execution stuff, right? How do I execute that super positivity? And if you've been super negative, you're going to sort of flip the script and go, wait a second, it's not as bad as I think it is, and I have a lot more power. And you start to create the things that you're trying to create for yourself. Blah, 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 blah. Oh yeah, as you hear me say often, you are divine, right? So your own inner divinity is going to be the pole flip, right? You're going to flip out of I'm just a I'm just a physical being, I'm just a person, I'm just a whatever, right? The limitations that you've given on yourself, and you're going to flip into, wait a second, I'm divine. Um, the moon and the sun are really going to physically affect you, and spiritually and psychically affect you, and they're going to give you that juice to change, right? So it's going to be the melding of spirituality and activity into oneness, so that you're going to have that inner pole flip to, like, wait a second, I'm not separate, I'm not either or, I'm oneness, I am one with oneness. Nice energetic shift on Saturday. Moves us into Sunday the 23rd. Mars does go direct. Some, like I said, everything's not on a dime. So depending on where you are on the planet, right? Sometimes in the 23rd, it's already the 24th on the other side of the planet. Mars is direct, and just this sort of a pay attention kind of highlight, right? It goes retrograde once every 2 years, right? So we're sort of ending a 2-year cycle. So sort of think back to 2023 and everything that sort of shifted since then. And then what else am I doing? What else am I looking at? Oh yeah, and then so just think of not only the 2-year cycle, but what it's really been causing you to wrestle with since probably the beginning of December, right? So all the things with December and the holidays and the New Year and the changes and the shifts and the super colds and all the fun things. Just sort of I won't say rehash that, but pay attention to see how far you've actually changed, and really you might have felt that the world has been out of control since then. And so you want to, the experience you're going to have is all of a sudden, even if the data on the screen, whether that be the computer screen or the TV screen, that is sort of seemed out of control, the universe is really going to be handing us the reins back, right? So where would you like to direct your horse? Blah blah blah. Monday, the 24th of February, 2025. Mars is still direct because it didn't go retrograde again. Mars is still direct, and Monday is really going to be this ability. You don't necessarily, if it didn't happen for you, that's fine. But this sort of inner calm that allows you to be um, almost I'll say living in slow motion because you're not going to feel sluggish. It's almost like the movie The Matrix, and I know people overuse that, but like when they start to shoot bullets at them, and then all of a sudden they can sort of see where the bullets are and sort of go around them and knock them to the side. That's really going to be the energy, right? So it's not going to be like, oh my god, I got to do this. It's like an anxiety thing. It's really this sort of inner calm that the things that are keeping you from your destiny and what you're trying to accomplish, your inner intentions, your inner light, are going to be easy to sort of move out of your way. And that's the inner calm, right? Um, and that's the embracing of your divinity, right? You're never going to die, right? And so pay attention to that. Tuesday, the 25th of February, you're going to feel super light after you get this inner calm. On the 25th is a day with no retrogrades. And how you're going to experience that is you're really going to feel like you're living in it now, not like you're dealing with old bullshit that's come up from the past, not like that you're worried about something that's going to be in the future, but that you're just in the now. Everything that's happening to you, excuse me, everything that's happening to you is um, manageable and actually within your skill set, right? You're going to realize that you've magnetized and attracted the things into your life that are going to create the life that you've been dreaming of, and within your power to keep doing that. So that's a good day on Tuesday. And so with that feeling of control, um, right, you still have a choice, right? You can choose optimism or you can choose pessimism. And just a Jason commentary, I still have my eyes into lots of streams of thought and belief systems that the metaphysical world, the conspiracy world, the people that believe in physical reality and governments, all that sort of stuff. And there's been a tendency, and that's sort of built probably over the last decade, to look for the worst possible outcome or the worst possible intention of those that are outside the self. And just that's a violation of the pathway that I sort of came up in, as y'all know, as a Lutheran pastor, and Martin Luther's commentary on the meaning of the eighth commandment to love your neighbor or not to bear false witness against your neighbor is to look in the most positive light of what your neighbor could be doing. And of course, if they prove you wrong, don't be a dumbass. But right, when we look at people's most positive intentions, not that they're being guided by the devil or ignorance or whatever it might be, right? And that could be flat around Earth. That could be true history, non-history, ancient languages, aliens, whatever you might be thinking of, that the aliens are here to get us or the aliens are here to save us, right? Look for the intention to be the most positive. And so when you choose optimism, you get the most optimistic returns from the universe. The universe is listening to your inner light. And if your inner light is, I want to see, or I want to shine the light on all the darkness in the world, you're going to find more darkness to shine light on. And if you look for what is the redeeming qualities of people that might be doing bad things, and or what is the best possible outcome, that things are breaking because there's something bigger, better, and more divine that is taking hold or being born or being birthed. So just sort of that's my 2 cents. I would say 4 cents, 2 cents, 4 cents, whatever it is. I almost did a old high school cheer from football. Anywho, that's the week. It seems like a good week. It might feel overwhelming week, but just know that the body is shifting where it can handle this extra energy, and it's going to be guided by your perspective, right? So try to find the biggest, bestest, most brightest perspective, and really focus on shining your light, right? Which is a good light, right? Like a night light, a beacon. You want to feel like a lighthouse. Work on shining that light, and a lot of other things will shift in the positive, not just for you, but for the rest of us. So I think that's everything. Of course, if you want to get in touch with us, I'm here. at 221 East Main Street in downtown Brenham. Come by the shop, buy some crystals, buy some incense, ask some questions. You can go to newdimensionscrystals.com and book a session online. It's usually at the top book now. A lot easier than calling me and asking me. If you've never done a session before, start with the cleanse. It doesn't mean you're dirty. It just is more in an alignment, right? Like you got to have a clean engine, a clean car, and a clean outlook and an aligned outlook so that your body can function the best. Connect is obviously connecting to your higher sources of energy so that you don't ever run out of gas. And then sort of integrate is really getting your mind right? So believing that you've actually changed and the world can be better is what happens in the integrate. Of course, breath work is a thing. Bring your friend. It is 2 for 1 when you sign up for that, when you sign up for Breathwork Online. And of course, tarot readings are usually walk-in in between people that come in and visit the shop. What else do I do here? Oh yeah, and you can sit in the pyramid. Usually you could walk in, but sometimes you can book that online if you want to make sure that 2 people didn't walk in and want to sit in the pyramid at the same time. I think that's everything. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. I love doing this stuff. Hope you have a great week. I know you will because the light is shining. Until next week, everybody, let me find the stop button. Many blessings.